And I wrote this song because I was watching Jimmy Kimmel one night, and I saw Andy's father came on the show, and he said, yeah, my son, El Rocky Mexicano, which gave me the idea to write the song El Rocky Mexicano.
We're right here with Andy Reyna.
¿Qué tal? Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you for having me. First and foremost, thank you for having me.
So Andy Reyna is a regional singer, currently out of San Diego. He grew up in Los Angeles and Tijuana, but you started your music career in LA.
Yeah, well, I come from a family of musicians. My father was a musician. My uncles, aunts, they're all musicians. My great-grandfather was a musician. Him and his son used to play at bars. Anywhere they got an opportunity to sing. This is back in the 1930s and 40s. And then my grandfather, one of the greatest musicians, I thought, in my eyes. He could have made it big, but he chose in a different career versus the music industry. But ever since I was 5 years old, I was singing everywhere, in every party, family gathering. And then my father and grandfather decided to started promoting me in LA and singing in kermeses and those kind of events, mariachi festivals. I used to sing canciones de Pedrito Fernández back in the day, La Mochila Azul, and all those songs that were really popular back then. So that's how my career got started. And then we moved to Tijuana and lived in Tijuana for a few years. And then once I became a little bit older, I went into music school. Yo estudié música, excuse me, en la Asociación Nacional de Actores en Holanda. I was there for 4 years, took music lessons, music theory. In addition to that, I was in another artistic school called Academia Artística Ritmo for a couple years. And then I had private lessons in my house with a private instructor, because at that time I felt like I wanted to take it seriously. In the 90s, I started working with people like Jorge Quesada. I ran into the boxer Hall of Famer Eric El Terrible Morales, and I was touring with one of his artists in the 90s. I toured also with, I had the privilege and honor to tour with Señor Julio Preciado. I opened up for him on a few shows in Mexicali, Ensenada, San Felipe, and in Tijuana. I also had my own band, era Andy Reyna, con los Astros de Tijuana. We did a lot of shows in south of Mexico and also in LA and some stuff here in San Diego.
But you were a regular in the early 90s at El Jalapeño?
Yeah, Jalapeño Club, yeah. El Jalapeño Club, it was considered la Catedral de las Bandas. And back then, along with Las Pulgas, which is still going on now. Jalapeño doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, I performed there con la banda Tierra Blanca de Culiacán, Sinaloa, along with con la banda Tama, que creo que era la banda Tamazula, I believe it was. That band used to sing for, or used to support Joan Sebastian back in the day.
How was the scene back then with regional music?
Back then, it was a little bit different back then. There was a lot of bands performing in Tijuana. Tijuana was like was one of the biggest scenes for like a lot of major artists for that type of music. And now, since times have changed a little bit, I think more like possibly now LA is a bigger stage for that versus Tijuana.
And so you recently put out a single, El Rocky Mexicano, and you said that you started writing that song right away, right when Andy Ruiz won the fight, because you thought it was going to be such a epic moment.
Well, I follow boxing. I fought amateur when I was younger. So I followed boxing my entire life, and I knew who Andy Ruiz was. Andy Ruiz was one of the most underrated fighters that were out there and never got the right opportunity. So when the fight came along with Andy versus Joshua, I was like, oh man, it's going to be a great fight, because I think that the Joshua camp selected him to lose, and they were expecting an easy fight. So when he won, I mean, me as being a Mexican, I was like, oh my God, I was the first heavyweight champion of Mexico, you know, Mexican to win the world title. It was just such an honor. And I got inspired. As soon as he won the fight, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna write a song. I'm gonna write a song, and we'll see if the universe of our lives crossed or across our paths. So when I wrote the song, and I wrote the song because I was watching Jimmy Kimmel one night, and I saw Andy's father came out on the show, and he said, yeah, my son, El Rocky Mexicano, which gave me the idea to write the song El Rocky Mexicano, which is going to come out soon on iTunes. I believe the song's out already, but the music video is going to be coming out this week, the first week of December. So I wrote the song, and I actually got an opportunity to perform it to Andy Ruiz and his family. I got invited to his birthday bash, and at his birthday bash, my boy Mr. Capone, along with my agent Marcos MTO, took me to his house, and I actually got my guitar, and they said, hey, you know, Andy Reyna's got the song for you. He wrote El Rocky Mexicano. And Andy Ruiz was like, oh, that's awesome, man. Let me bring my dad. And he brought his dad, and I said a few words, and I performed the song for them.
You posted a clip of you performing the song, right?
Yeah.
How was it like performing in front of so many celebrities? Because I'm sure there was a handful of celebrities.
There was a handful of celebrities there. It was a little bit nerve-wracking, because I went in there with zero expectation. I didn't know what to expect. And with me, I always try to be ready for any opportunity. And I had my guitar with me, and I was like, okay, it's now or never. So I took a deep breath, took a shot, and basically I started performing the song. But yeah, there was a few celebrities there, and they all gave me good props. I felt really honored to have done that in the way that it happened. So, and then Andy's dad was like, oh man, great song, and he congratulated me, took me outside of the balcony, and he said, here, I want you to sing this song. He took the microphone away from the DJ and made me sing it a cappella to the entire crowd. It was pretty cool. One of the keystone moments in my life, to being able to do that with the heavyweight champion of the world, of course.
So after doing the song, we started doing the video. We actually recorded the video at Eric Morales' gym.
Yes.
And Andy Ruiz actually practiced there for a bit.
So I asked my friend Eric Morales, El Terrible, if I can borrow his gym to do the music video, and of course he supported me on it. So that's where we filmed. The story goes that Andy Ruiz, when he was younger, he was training for the Mexican Olympics. He was trying out for the Olympic team, and I believe like 15 years ago or so, he actually trained in Tijuana in Eric's gym. He had the opportunity to actually have worked out there or trained there for a while, as far as I know.
You actually did a corrido for Eric Morales also.
Yeah, I did. So when Eric beat Manny Pacquiao, who was the first Mexican, or the first, Manny Pacquiao was not an undefeated fighter, but he had not been beaten, at least by the elite of the sport at that time. And when he faced Eric Morales the first time, Eric actually won a unanimous decision against Manny Pacquiao. And after that fight, I decided to do a corrido for my friend, which I did. I did it with banda. And the song came out through CalMix, a music group with my boy MTO. and the song's doing well. And actually, now that I signed with High Power Music, I'm gonna re-release Eric's corrido, because I think that based on what the man has done in his career, boxing career, 7-time world champion in 4 different weight classes, one of the 2 Mexicans who've actually accomplished that. I believe that it deserves to be out there.
You just released a couple projects, and with the Eric Morales corrido, also the Andy Ruiz, El Rocky Mexicano song. You also did El Corrido which should be El Corrido del Señor Capone, no?
Yeah.
But it's Mr. Capone Corrido.
Yeah.
And you actually write all the songs yourself. It's kind of like a biography type of theme. Is it something that you're gonna keep on doing?
That's a good question. I consider myself, I'm not necessarily a corrido writer, which I've done it because the opportunity presented itself. I consider myself more of a regional, more ballad, I love writing love songs. That's more my style, or what at least I like to do. The Capone corrido, that's something that, when we signed with High Power Music, I was grateful for the opportunity, and we decided to do a corrido for him, based on his trajectory, based on everything that he has accomplished and done in his life, which, in my belief, merited for him to have a corrido. So that's why I wrote him a corrido. And that was the first one we did. I did one for Eric Morales. I did now Andy Ruiz. But we also have some other projects, some other songs. We got a ballad that we just did a music video for, No Puedo Olvidarte, which is it's a ballad con norteño, similar to something that maybe kind of like the style of Intocable a little bit. We have some other folk songs that we're going to be releasing soon in the near future. And I'm doing a really, really special song that will probably be released in May. It's a song called, I'll let you guys know, se llama Y Le Salieron Alas. It's a song dedicated to all moms, for the moms that are no longer with us. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how the public receives this song, because my plan is to release it on Mother's Day. Like the song No Puedo Olvidarte, actually, that's one of the first songs that I recorded, but based on how things presented itself, when I did the song El Muro, kind of like just making a statement on that, we Latinos, we're not what the man, I'm not going to mention his name, but the man who is mentioned as Mexicanos, we're criminals and this and that. And no, that's not. When I did the song El Muro, I did it for the purpose of saying, we're hardworking people. We come to this country as immigrants to work and to raise a family and for this American dream. I cannot see no other reason why anybody else comes to this country. And that's why I did the song El Muro. It was basically a political statement, which I normally don't get involved with politics, but at that time when I did the song El Muro, I felt it necessary for me to write it, because I like to sing songs, or I like to write songs that have feeling, that have heart. I just can't get into, like, for example, with all respect that it deserves, I deserve all kinds of different types of music, but for me to write a song, it has to have meaning, it has to have feeling, otherwise I won't do it. One of the songs that I'm working on right now, that I plan to release it probably sometime in 2020, is I'm doing a song for Tijuana. I mean, you hear all the great folk songs from Sinaloa, Monterrey, Guadalajara, the Oaxaca. And me being from Tijuana, I'm like, man, you know what? Tijuana deserves a song. Juan Gabriel, who did a song prior from him passing, he did a song for Tijuana, but it was more like kind of like an upbeat song, and I really want to do something special for Tijuana, because I think Tijuana always gets a bad reputation, and I want to I want to focus on the positives versus the negatives for sure.
It's really cool that we've shot at these like very kind of iconic known places. Like what are some of the places that we shot in Tijuana?
Well, we shot at the border for El Muro, at the border, at the separation of the U.S. and Mexico border in Playas de Tijuana, which is it's a symbol of there's so much history there. We shot at Eric Morales' gym. We shot in downtown Tijuana, you know, one of the oldest places, iconic places for Tijuana tourism. We also shot where the main flag that represents the first flag that represents Mexico. I think it's one of the largest in the world, I believe, and we shot right under it. You know, so we picked specific locations to show that, you know, number one, like, I am a Mexican artist, and I'm very, as I say in Spanish, Tijuana es mi cuna. Tijuana is the city that has made me as far as my career, where I really started off my career. So given the opportunity, for the most part, I like shooting there. It has a city with a lot of culture, with a lot of places to film that I think are meaningful to the songs that I'm doing.
Yeah, I like that the places that we've shot at are places that you could see from right here in San Diego. Like all you gotta do is look across to the south and you can see, oh, the flag. Oh, we shot right there at the flag. Oh, the arch. Oh, we were right there under the arch. Oh, the lighthouse. Yeah, we shot right there at the lighthouse. So it's like a very cool connection. And those are like, I don't know if there's any other like specific locations that you think of when you look across to the south of like, there's this spot, there's this thing, and there's this thing.
Well, there's one more, and the one we haven't shot at, which I do want to shoot there, is in El Cerro Colorado. El Cerro Colorado de Tijuana is iconic for Tijuana. So everybody who's from this region will know El Cerro Colorado, and right under El Cerro Colorado, that's where the baseball team, de los Toros, that's where they play, and I would like to shoot there, and plus the band that sometimes they accompany me in my shows, Los Clásicos del Norte. That's where they're from, and they usually practice there and their music and stuff. So I would like to maybe do some shooting there as well. That would be like the missing link. And all these places that you mentioned, you can see them actually from here, from the United States. We're like 5 minutes away from the border. So all the ones you mentioned, you can basically see them from here, which is pretty awesome.
So you released El Muro, and shortly after that, you signed to High Power Music. How did that connection come about?
That came about one day. My manager and agent, friend, brother, MTO, gave me a call and said, "Hey, I think it was like a Sunday, I think it was, and he was like, hey, you know who Mr. Capone is?" And I was like, "Yeah, Mr. Capone, like the guy who did some stuff with Snoop Dogg, and he's in the rap industry." He's like, yeah, him. He goes like, "Yeah, well, he wants to meet us. We got a meeting with him in Beverly Hills." And I'm like, "We do?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I was like, "Okay." So next thing we know, we drive up to Beverly Hills, and I believe Mr. Capone was working with Lady Pink on another video, and we met at the set, and he was like interested in working with me because Mr. Capone is one of those guys, man. He's a hustler. He's always pushing and grinding. He has a really high work ethic, and he wanted and wants to get more into the Latino Mexican music, and he liked the song of El Muro, and basically when he heard it, I believe, I'm not sure how that song was connected to him. I think Marco's connected with some of his people, or him directly, I'm not sure. But the point is that because of that song, Capone gave my agent a call and said, "Hey, I want to meet with Andy." I want to see what I can do. Let's come up with a work plan together. So we did. That's how I met Mr. Capone. We met him on the set of one of Lady Pink's videos, along with him, and we came up with the idea of maybe doing a corrido for him, and then the rest is history. Funny story came about the other day. I went to Home Depot, and there was like 3 guys who were like mad dogging me at first. At least that's how I perceived it. And they were like, "Oh yeah, it is him. And I was like, man, these guys are gonna kick my butt or what? So one of them came up to me. He's like, "Hey man," and he's like, "Are you Andy Reyna?" And I'm like, "No." And I was like, "Man, well, yeah, it's me." And he's like, "Hey man, we're actually fans. We want to know if we could take a picture with you. Yeah, we love we support high power music, and we like the corrido you did for Mr. Capone." I was like, "Oh man, that had never happened to me, like at least not in that fashion." So I was like, "Oh man, hell yeah, come on, man." So we took, here I am taking pictures in Home Depot with these guys who enjoy the corrido, which is, for me, it's awesome. It's an awesome feeling, because to be able to give back to the fans and be able to put myself out there for them, and I always try to be, as humble as I can. But it was an awesome experience that happened to me in Home Depot, by the way.
You're on your way out to Saudi Arabia in the next couple of hours.
Yeah, I'm going to be leaving soon. I have to leave in the next 10 minutes or so, because my flight leaves at around 3:30. But yeah, I've been asked by the Andy Ruiz's team to go to Saudi Arabia, and God willing, I'm going to be performing the national anthems either of Mexico or the United States, which that was a curveball that was thrown at me, because the last time I performed the national anthem for USA I believe was like in 3rd grade. However, I mean, I've known it my entire life. I have no problem singing it. The national anthem of Mexico, I've performed it before in Eric Morales' fights a couple of times. But this is a great honor to be part of that. I'm going with a lot of emotion, a lot of like, man, this is the great opportunity, and the fact that I have the opportunity to be singing in the heavyweight championship of the world. It's one of my biggest highlights in my life. An honor to be able to be part of that, and God willing, I could be part of it in future events that come about. But this was put together by Andy Ruiz's dad. He's the guy, I believe, that he pushed it for me, and I'm very thankful to him and to his entire camp, to Andy Ruiz himself, to all the people that worked for him and with him to make all these things happen, because I saw it with Eric Morales, and Eric, as a fighter, he needs to focus on fighting, and the people around them are the ones that make things happen for these big events. So I am privileged and honored to have been given this opportunity, and God willing, I'll be there to represent, Mexico or the United States, whatever I'm asked to do. Because right now I still don't know, but the only thing I know is that I'm going.
Do you have any final words, final messages, and where can we get in contact with you? Where can we find you?
Well, my final message is I want to thank you, Ruben Avila. I want to thank my boy Marcos MTO, Mr. Capone, for giving me this great opportunity. Because Mr. Capone was one of the guys who also believed in me, and he pretty much connected me with Andy Ruiz. And to all my fans that follow me and support me in this crazy journey, because I always say it's crazy, be ready for the song release of El Rocky Mexicano. The song already released. You can get it in iTunes, Amazon Music, and I believe some of the other music downloads you can get it. So be ready. We got a lot of plans coming out, and we're going to give it 110%. So with that being said, thank you all, and we'll be seeing you soon from Saudi.
Cool.
Cheers.